finish our roads for us. Example, no lights on the motorway, but drivers pay for every time they use the road. I'm sure you're referring to the tolls that are paid. New Parliament House, just like churches, occasionally it overflows because of one special program or the other. Does it mean you need new church buildings anytime it's filled to capacity? We don't need a new parliament. Even the Independence Square overflows sometimes. Kwesi Okatache at Center Accra with a very interesting thoughts there. You can also tweet at us at Joy997FM, go on our Facebook page, Joy99.7FM, and send us your message there. The hashtag is JoySMS. Waste of taxpayers' money. Hospitals are there without drugs, beds, and other equipment. Our roads are in bad shape. Yet, people who we voted for to represent us in Parliament are only thinking about themselves and not the good people of this country. Interesting thoughts there. Nana from Spintex Road says, Daniel, I just don't get our politicians. We live in filthy cities with no good roads, street lights, hospitals, ambulances with paramedics, school structures, etc. And we're building a cathedral and new chambers in Parliament. Our politicians, God help this country. Nana from Spintex Road. I want to beg Malik because we've been having this conversation since yesterday. Malik, I beg you, calm down.
Why is this man doing?
So I'll start with Raymond.
Raymond, talk for
Thank
me.
you.
Raymond,
talk for me.
what are the facts of this story?
Okay, so the understanding we have is that getting to the last quarter this year, we are actually going to get the engineering team start work on a new Parliament House. They will take at most 3 years to complete the new structure and make sure that we have a new system in place. The belief, according to the leadership of Parliament, is that we need a more befitting structure. There's also the understanding that the current structure is not living up to expectations. It's not living up to the structure that is supposed to be delivering. And with the hope that if our population at the rate of it's growing, we may likely need more MPs, more representative MPs in the House, which will require a bigger structure to happen. You have seen that in the last changes that we've had in Parliament. Remember that we increased by some numbers, in the last 2 elections.
Okay.
Before the 2016 one, we did. Before the 22 one, we also did the same thing. In tandem with your growth and the numbers you expect in there, in tandem with your quest to have more representation and a closer number of people. So, for example, if we still have a place like in Shaeso, having more than 85,000 people being represented by a single MP, and other areas have less than 40,000, it's still possible that we may have to divide some of these constituencies to have people being closer to their MPs in this case.
Okay.
So the rationale is pretty much forward-looking, that your population is going to grow anyway, and you surely would have to have a system that can accommodate the numbers that you are likely to have. And since we have not decided that we are going to curtail the numbers, like we did in the first Republican Constitution, specific numbers were put in there. Since we have not decided to do so, we surely we need to go ahead with increasing numbers. And clearly, we can't be doing renovation and increasing numbers all the time, which will cost us more. Why not a one-off increase with a projected expectation of what's going to be happening in the future?
Okay, Osei Mensah wants to put it in perspective here.
Even we have more than 60 non-MP ministers and deputy ministers. On occasions, they are required to be in the chamber. Even sometimes DCEs on occasions may be required to be in the chamber to be witnesses of one thing or the other. So we provide adequate space. But now, when all members of Parliament are and ministers appear, many of them do not have any place to sit. Some have necessary to stand, which is not the best. So it's the reason why it doesn't mean that it is anticipated to raise the number to 450. That's not the intention.
That's Osei Mensah. He's Majority Leader of Parliament. We're working to get him on the phone lines very shortly so that he answers a few questions about the justification he gave for the Parliament new building. Malik, so in the first place, Raymond makes a point. Our population is growing. I mean, look, the UK has 60 million people, 66 million people, and they have some 650 members of Parliament. And so it's expected that with our 30 million, which is projected to be 50 million in some 20 years, we can get some more members of Parliament, and then we'll need a larger chamber.
Yeah, we need a lot of things. And I guess we are making provision for all of them. I think the fundamental question, and I draw my comments on the basis of something the Member of Parliament for Ras Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak, said yesterday about whether it is absolutely necessary to, at this point, be considering the building of a new parliament. The issue is that it seems that in this country, we always pull down and rebuild, pull down and rebuild. Where is our history? In every society, the history of the people is held dear to everybody's heart. That important institutions such as deliberative houses, as parliament, are never changed and pulled down and rebuilt and pulled down and rebuilt and moved from one place to another. You know that currently where our parliament is used not to be parliament. Parliament used to be somewhere around Makola.
Yeah.
Where the Chiraj was. That was, now we call it Old Parliament. That's where our parliament was. Then we moved it to where it is currently. Now we want to build another one. Is that the most important thing? And I have heard all the justification. Coincidentally, the majority leader, Osei Chairman Sabonsu, the rather very intelligent, smart member of parliament, and anyone who follows Chairman Sabonsu and followed his, when he was minority leader, when he was a member of the appointments committee of parliament, any appointee of government that appeared before the appointments committee dreaded Chairman Sabonsu's grilling. So his pedigree is not in doubt. So when you hear an intelligent man as him talking about building a new chamber, when in this country till today, there are people who sit under trees to learn, and the priority is that go and build a new house or a new chamber. When people are sitting, even in the capital, people's children are sitting under conditions that no decent society should allow its children to learn under. In the capital, not in my village, not in Raymond's and Holy Village. And people are learning, and these MPs who are sitting on very fine swivel chairs, they have in their constituencies children learning under trees. And the priority is not that let's set ourselves a target that by this stage, no child in Ghana should learn under conditions that are not conducive to the child's well-being and the child's learning. That shouldn't happen. We are considering a new parliament. Let me make a comment on something Chairman Sabonsu has said in the past. 2014, the Parliament of Ghana decided that we were going to procure new set of furniture for the house. What was the justification for this proposal? That Parliament had in the 2012 elections increased the number of seats from 230 to 275. And by that increase, we needed to create room for the extra 45 members of parliament that were coming. This is what Chairman Sabonsu at the time said. Raymond, why are you raising your hands?
I want to make an intervention.
Please make your intervention.
Okay, so very briefly.
Subject to Daniel Dazi's approval.
Okay, so Daniel, very briefly.
Approved.
I think that throughout history, and we did it with the Akosombo Dam, we did it with, and the current parliament was built in 1965. It's been 54 years, and if you like, read the stories around that particular time. There were complaints on whether or not we needed a new parliament or not, even at that particular time. The question is, when do we ultimately need a new parliament, and how and when should it be decided? Secondly, I think there are so many gray areas in this decision that we ought to be informed rather than jumping to conclusions about the need or the lack thereof of same. So, for example, we don't know who's funding it. 2, we don't know in this particular space how that particular fund is going to affect our public finances. Again, why do we always create the impression that it amounts to lack of prioritization when we are doing something in a sector different from another sector? If we have problems with schools under tree, and as of the year 2016, we said we have cleared more than 60% of the schools under tree, and that we had a program to continue with the clearing of these schools under tree.
And that program has continued.
It didn't stop. It didn't stop us from doing any other thing in this state. It didn't stop from going for World Cups. It didn't stop us from doing any of the fanciful things we've done in times past. So why is there a problem when we talk about an edifice of this sort? Then the justification we never had, we don't have, how do you call them? We don't have,
we have schools under trees.
We have schools under trees. We have hospitals on beds. Yes, but who says we don't have plans to deal with them? Now, check the projects under the Sino Hydro money we're supposed to get. Recently, the Finance Ministry said they made some provisions for specific roads to be built. I know there can always be new roads and more of these roads being built.
Raymond, do you still have schools under trees?
Yes, that's what we.
When did you say you cleared 60% of them?
2016.
Have you cleared the rest?
Now, it's supposed to continue because
so the children are learning under trees. You are going to build a new parliament for an expansion in the number of parliaments that hasn't happened yet.
Again, but
so at the moment, people's children are learning under trees,
yes.
And you are saying that let's build a new parliament so that in the future, when the numbers increase,
yes.
we would have made room for them.
Sorry, but in this case,
you have not eliminated the schools under trees, consistent with the promise that you made to yourself and the people.
No, but see, Malik,
how can you make this?
It's two different arguments
justification.
you're making.
Malik, allow Raymond to respond.
I agree when you say you can walk and chew gum. I never suggest anywhere that we cannot do multiple things at the same time.
Yes.
But I make my argument on the basis of known facts, which are that finances have always been a problem in this country. We are talking Sino Hydro. If we had the money, would we go to China and say they should come and build roads and we'll give them bauxite? We don't have the money. So
yes,
when we are going
to,
when we are entering into such...
set up our own manufacturing units and do what with it?
No. He's using it to
yes.
make a point. No, he to be fair, Raymond, he's using it to make a point that it's a demonstration of our lack of finances that has made us enter that barter agreement.
Yes,
so
we have entered
into
a barter agreement or any other form of agreement in the near future, which was going to happen anyway.
So for a country that needs to exchange, the points Malik is making, which I just want to present to you clearly, is that for a country that needs to exchange bauxite for road infrastructure, it shows that you don't have money to build a road infrastructure.
Yes.
If you don't have money to build a road infrastructure, why do you want to build a new parliament
house?
First
and foremost, bauxite is our resource. We determine how we use our resource to get money to do our
Raymond, you don't get the heart of that. That argument is just a side argument Malik is making.
My point here is that it is tangential.
So let's not stay on that point. Fine, let's not stay on that.
The substantive point is that no other project has ended because we are going to build parliamentary house. Which
Daniel,
one?
Don't allow this man to distract me.
I have two things to do. I have two things to do right now. Malik, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to wrap up on the points you're making so you can finish your thoughts. Then I'll do those two things.
Let me read to you what Osei Mensah Bonsu, as minority leader in 2014, said as a justification for the removal of the furniture in Parliament and the replacement of same with some 50 million Ghana cedis. This is what he said. We weren't going to get the quality of wood that existed in the house for the additional 45 seats. So we were going to have different quality of wood. Then it was better to have a uniform wood to serve the 275 members of parliament. So our parliament decided that because there was an increase in number from 230 to 275, take all the furniture for the 230 out, because you will not get the same wood that the 230 desks were made. You are not going to get the same wood. So remove all the 230 so that you can get wood for the 275.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the justification.
Okay.
And he said in Ghana today, it is going to be almost impossible to get one contractor have the same quality of wood to serve 275 members of parliament.
Okay.
It is almost impossible. My point is that we can always find justification, however unconvincing, for the decisions that we were going to take.
Right.
Till today, you cannot convince me that it was a prudent decision that because of 45 members of parliament, because we can't find the same wood, what would have happened if you had the 45 members of parliament sitting on chairs made with wood which doesn't look like what the rest of them are sitting on? How will that prevent Parliament from doing its job? Its core mandate is to pass laws.
Okay.
And to hold the executive accountable.
Okay, Malik, you know what? It's 8 minutes
And
to
you
the top of
spend
the
50
hour.
million to go and change chairs
We are not-
because you want the same color for the whole chamber.
Okay, you know what? No, Raymond, we are not done with this conversation.
And these are the most intelligent members of our society taking these decisions.
They've not said so. They've not argued that.
Respectfully, Malik, let's step away from that. But it's 7 minutes to the top of the hour. If
but
you
why?
just joined us, we are discussing we are discussing, gentlemen, please. We are discussing Parliament's decision to build a new edifice. We are asking ourselves this morning, does Parliament need a new house? Good morning to you if you're listening to us, wherever you are in the country. Here's David Ajayi. He is Sir David Ajayi. He is the architect who won the bid to construct the new edifice. Listen to him.
So at the moment, the way the master plan works is that you have the sort of buildings of the Third Republic, the two pavilions. One is the Parliament, one is the banqueting hall. And what we're now doing is removing the parliamentary chamber to this new chamber and refurbishing the old Parliament to be another conference facility for Parliament. With that, we're also putting all the car parks that you see that are on surface parking under the Parliament for security. So parliamentarians can drive into a secure zone and rise up directly into the chamber, but also to allow diplomatic visits that are coming to also be able to have their own secure port come in, the president to also be able to come in, and for all the support facilities, press galleries, libraries, museum to talk about the history of our parliament, our unique democracy, as well as support facilities are all going to be housed in this main block. It is going to be like a stage underneath the building to allow for press meetings, but also presentations. And possibly what is being discussed is that finally the president will be sworn underneath the parliament, which is what parliament has wished for it to be.
Beautiful. So, Sir David Ajayi speaking there, and he's the architect who has won the bid. Interestingly, though, Speaker of Parliament's Professor Aaron Michael Quay has said they don't know how much it's going to cost, but they did award it to Sir David Ajayi through competitive tendering, which alone raises its own questions. Like we said, we are working the phone lines to get Osei Mensah Bonsu to speak to this. I said I'll do two things. So the first thing is what I've done. The second thing is read a headline from the Ghana News Agency. Parliament is really in need. Speaker, Raymond, you will love this. Take your time. Parliament, seeking to expand its infrastructure, has solicited the support of the government and the people of China to build a new chamber block. This is dated 6th February 2017. I'll go straight to the quote here. The Parliament of Ghana is really in need, says the Speaker. We still have a lot of things to be done. We have a vision for a new Chamber of Parliament, and we hope your good country can help us in this direction. Beautiful. So, this gives us a fair idea. Aaron Michael Quay then appealed to the Chinese ambassador to help, to give us money to build a new Chamber of Parliament.
That's interesting to know because, I mean, why the AU building as we have it in Ethiopia today was
It's a gift from China.
Yes, and we in this country.
Our national theatre.
I have listened to Lloyd Amoy's Chinese monumentalism in Ghana. And this will not be the first time that Ghana has gone to an external country for help to build anything. Even the seat of government, as we sit on today, the current Jubilee House was built as a gift from the good people of India. So I don't think that's even a problem. What I'm saying is that if this is not going to be a major burden on the good people of this country,
Raymond,
it's not a
was
big deal.
Jubilee House built as a gift?
Yes.
And what happened to the $37 million
Never a
loan?
gift. Jubilee House was never a gift.
Okay, there was a bill on it, I remember.
It was never a gift. We actually increased it. There was, when we made changes to the original plan, we had to pay more money.
You remember?
That was why it became a political issue in the 2008 election. It was never a gift.
Okay, convenient
paid.
loan for the people of
We
this country.
paid for it.
Convenient loan.
Yes, it's not a big deal that it's actually a convenient loan for this country.
It's a big deal.
So
It's a big
We
deal.
paid for it.
So why are we
It
saying that
cost us-
today
it
we
cost
don't
us
want
more
Jubilee
than
House
70
again?
million.
Is that what you're saying?
It cost us more than
Is that-
$70 million.
Is an argument that Jubilee House is no longer a worthful
One
investment
at
or
a
something like
time.
that?
One at a time. One at a time.
I am
one at a
saying
time.
that consistently we've had some of these engagements with other states and it doesn't change anything. I am still here to hear the cogent argument in opposition to building it, except
Raymond.
to say that they say we have priorities.
Is it not
and
this-
except to say that the other priorities they are talking about, as if they have all stopped operating. No ministry is working today because we are going to build Parliament House. That's the
Raymond,
rather
is it not
interesting argument they're making.
Is it not disgraceful that we go to another nation and we beg for help? That help is respectfully, with the greatest of respect, is to solve a problem that does not exist. Currently, we don't have a problem with our Chamber of Parliament. We don't have a problem. Because they are talking about projections into the future. That has not happened. But we have a subsisting problem. No. So why are you dealing with a future problem when there's a current problem that you have not dealt with and haven't dealt with for decades?
Which problems are you talking about again?
I am saying.
And there will always be problems in this country, but that's without doubt. We don't know that for a fact.
Today, the conditions under which your children learn. And I am emotional and passionate about education because I know what education has done for me.
Yes, so
for
maybe
my
if
family,
you do it dispassionately.
and what education has done for many other people who otherwise would have been living in conditions of squalor and misery. So when you find people in 2019 Ghana studying under conditions where they cannot get that key which would unlock their potential, and we are going to beg for money not to fix that problem but to build a parliament, then you understand why
you didn't oppose
I am exercising my constitutional right.
What's the name of the country? In Egypt, and giving huge sums of money to people to go and play football in other countries.
Raymond,
I'm talking about priorities.
If you equate, excuse me, Raymond. Excuse me,
Raymond.
Let
me make the point. Malik was talking, he didn't intervene. And he spoke for almost 10 minutes. You didn't intervene. Let me talk. Yes.
The guy is blackmailing.
I'm saying that, yes. The most important point here is that I think we can always discuss priorities. Again, you put people in place to do authoritative allocation of your resources. If you want to debate that, that's a different thing altogether. If you are telling me that they are not smart enough and you need to make sure you reorder their priorities, it's a different thing altogether. Again, I have said that the Ministry of Education has not said that I do not have enough money to do the things I have to do. Indeed, they have actually moved on to raise more money from oil and other resources for them. I cannot understand how we still consistently make this argument that just because there's going to be a new parliament, you cannot have a church or a hospital or any.
No, you can say church because you are building a church as well. So you can say church.
And the second part is that you don't really get to do some of these things. On one hand, we say we don't have foresight as a state. We don't build with the intent that we know population growth and other things are taken care of. Now, for the first time, we say we are going to have foresight. They say it's a problem with the foresight because there's a media problem. At what point in time will we have the foresight?
Raymond, if I may,
the foresight
why did we not apply the foresight?
If you may be the moderator and not be on the other side in this particular case, your question will be.
You will not blackmail me emotionally in my studio. You will not do that.
A man in his own studio.
In my own studio. I will ask you the question. No. But you see. The point is that. Can we apply that foresight when we are building secondary school dormitories rather than parliament houses?
Raymond made the point about
from the Ministry of Education, and they should take note of that. But it cannot prevent the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs or Parliament from doing the same thing.
I don't
understand.
Let me do two more
for
things.
A very long time, that section of our public, the legislature has always been seen as the weakest link in our system. The legislature have been condemned and complained about consistently.
It is not because of lack of space or a beautiful building.
They contribute to it.
If we want infrastructure, we were here in this studio. Listen. We were here in this studio. Matthew Nyindam told me, Daniel Daze, in this studio, that he meets his constituents under a tree in his house. When he goes back to
Bunkrugu.
Matthew Nyindam is not Bunkrugu.
No, that's Solomon Namde.
Yeah. Oh, Matthew Nyindam, that's where Jojo Kovna went.
The deputy
Pandai.
The deputy majority chief.
Yes. Oh, Matthew Nyindam told me that he meets his constituents under a tree. But we are building a new parliament house. It's fine. I just want to do
not
two
your
things.
example in support of the other side of the argument.
I want to do two things now. The original budget for the reconstruction of $30 million, for the reconstruction of Flagstaff House, that's the transformation to Jubilee House, for $30 million was a loan from the Indian government. However, BBC journalist David Amano reported the construction may have cost as much as $45 to $50 million. This is to settle that earlier issue that came up. Building of the parliament was overseen by an Indian contractor who used Ghanaian subcontractors. A source of this is the BBC. I want to do one more thing. 20th March 2017, Graphic Online. India to help Ghana build 400-seater capacity parliamentary chamber. Ghana's wish to have a new parliamentary chamber to accommodate more people could soon materialize, following the decision of the Indian government to extend its assistance in that regard. The 400-seater capacity new chamber will replace the present 275-seater capacity chamber, which was configured in 2013 to accommodate more members of parliament. I'm going to go to the speaker's quote in this one. India today is poised towards helping with Ghana's railway redevelopment, which will accelerate our economic transformation. It is in the spirit of cooperation that we decided to solicit their assistance in the rebuilding of the parliamentary chamber, which is monumental and will forever stand in appreciation of the good relationship between the two countries. And we have no doubt Ghana will forever be indebted to India if the project comes to fruition. Aaron Mike Okwe is the Speaker of Parliament. This conversation is not over,
just
guys.
Just like their friends who condemned the building of the Jubilee House some time ago and found it convenient to occupy it later on, should be humble and learn from history. That many of these condemnations come back to bite them in the face. So these are the things that you don't, and it's not an emotional contestation. And I think we should put it in a fine context. If we dispassionately look at the future of this country, we can discuss priorities every single day. And I doubt if we'll ever clear our problems. Some of the biggest countries in this world still have problems. They still have problems with education and other sectors. But they have found ways of making sure that they are improving their systems. That is how we should do it.
Okay.
We should not be,
I want to hear the audience on this one. Send us a message on 0244 340437. We'll open the phone line shortly. But send us a message now on 0244 340437. You can also tweet at us as Joy997FM. Go on our Facebook page, Joy 99.7 FM. Send us a message on the hashtag JoySMS. Big Stories is brought to you by Guarantee Trust Bank. Would you rather bank with us? Vodafone, the future is exciting, ready, and Latex Foam, your partner for life. Social media messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and Telecel 4G Just a Touch. The EcoBank Express Point allows you to access basic banking services across the country. Enjoy EcoBank Express Point services after banking hours, including weekends and holidays. Locate an EcoBank Express Point nearest to you at selected Shell shops, pharmacies, grocery shops, ECG vendor points, and mobile money merchants locations. Enjoy the following services at our Express Points. Open an instant EcoBank Express account, deposit and withdraw cash from your EcoBank Express account, redeem e-tokens, receive international remittances through Rapid Transfer, Western Union, RIA, Bigo, and Unity Link. To locate an EcoBank Express Point, simply dial *770#, select 8 for Express Locator, select region, enter the first 3 letters of your area. So if you're in Kokomlemle, enter KOK. Begin to transact today. EcoBank, your CIMG marketing-oriented company of the year. EcoBank is your CIMG Hall of Fame bank, and EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank. We take these a few messages from our sponsors. When we come back, we will continue to peruse the question of, do we need a new chamber of parliament? There are a few more interesting facts that we've been scouring online that we'll be sharing with you, and also we'll be taking your messages and your phone calls. We'll also be talking about the alleged torture meted on 2 journalists working at modernghana.com by officials of national security. You will be hearing from one of those journalists himself who has been speaking to us. Stay with us.
Darling, I have to go around today paying bills. I was at my banks to get my statements. So much to do, so my bruh.
I didn't know you'd be account to a GT Bank. To say the GT Bank *737# service, and the make account to me pretty. GT Bank a money easy cra. Because I'm running my account on my mobile phone, so yeah, Obanchi grab it me pretty GT Bank account also.
Wow.
Meet me be account for from house see how my mobile phone is so. Make kind of *737#.
Sir? *737#.
Hashi am day.
Initiate account opening, make inquiries, buy credit and transfer monies to your friends and family all on your mobile phone. You can also make payments for DSTV, Surfline, water and electricity bills in the comfort of your homes, offices, and everywhere. This is simple banking for every Ghanaian. Just dial *737# and follow the prompts. For further assistance, call our toll-free line 0800 124 000.
Guaranteed Trust Bank.
Guaranteed Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Vodafone Magic Recharge land you. Buy a recharge card or top up credit via my Vodafone app, Vodafone Cash, and win up to 100 times bonus. Yes, 100 times bonus. Like we do on Vodafone. Share your top up pin with 2 friends to also enjoy bonus credit. There's more. Stand a chance to win daily, weekly, and monthly prizes like a trip to Dubai for 2, a Hyundai Creta, motorbikes, phones, airtime, Vodafone Cash, and many more. Simply subscribe to Vodafone Magic Recharge for free on *561# to win. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Comfort, durability, finishing, quality. Choosing sofas and beds for your home, office, or hotel couldn't be easier with an exclusive range of sofas and beds in various designs and colors from Latex Foam. There is so much choice, whatever your budget. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
So you wanted that weave, that one that's so long it touches your toes. Got it. A disco light for the room when the sweetheart comes over. Bagged it. Those chrome spinning wheels that will have people at church praying to be you. But them. Now, how about those mega woofers that will wake up the whole neighborhood? Ordered. Because you've got the card that makes it all possible.
You don't need a bank account to spoil yourself. You can now securely load funds for travel, pay for goods and services online and at your favorite shop, or give your loved ones unending spending options or possibilities with a perfect gift card. Get a Cowbank prepaid card now, because you can.
Cowbank, forward together.
Scratch up. Win 'em. Scratch up. Win 'em.
Today be
Scratch
today.
up.
Malcolm turned 30 years for Ghana. So they splash plenty 30 things.
Plenty 30?
Every 100 Ghana you spend for Malcolm fee win 300 things.
300?
TV.
30.
Fridge.
30.
Motorcycle.
30.
You feel winner, win Renault car.
30.
Malcolm Big 30.
Scratch up. Win 'em. Scratch up. Win 'em. Scratch
Get a scratch card for every 100 cedis spent at any Malcolm shop across the country. Follow the instructions to win an amazing Malcolm Big 30 prize every week. Malcolm Big 30 Scratch and Win 'em starts from 1st July until 31st August 2019.
I go win today for Tamale, make my sister win for Kumasi, then Sansu again can win more for Accra. Today be today.
Scratch up. Win 'em.
Keep your winning scratch card. Samsung, platinum sponsor of Malcolm Big 30. Terms and conditions apply.
Scratch up. Win 'em.
Do not improvise an auto gas cylinder. Make sure the auto gas cylinder is properly installed by a qualified technician. Always keep a fire extinguisher handy in case of a fire. Stand at a safe distance and attack the base of the flames. Avoid decanting LPG from one cylinder to the other. Domestic transfer of LPG should be avoided. Cars fitted with auto gas cylinders should be filled at appropriate filling stations. A message from the National Petroleum Authority.
Here's what people are saying about the GCB Easy Pick.
It just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
It just makes
It
sense.
just
It
makes
just
sense.
makes sense.
Yes, saving makes a lot more sense now. GCB Bank will pay for anything you buy from phones, TVs, air conditioners, generators, solar equipment to roofing sheets from any GCB partner shop. And you can pay back later at a reduced price of up to 25% in discounts. Simply walk into any GCB partner shop, pick up what you want at a GCB discount price and fill a form. GCB will pay for you so you can pay back later in installments. Go, get it sooner, get it cheaper, pay later. GCB Easy Pick, it just makes sense. Terms and conditions apply.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Joe, and you're the who hear me.
Coffee in
better
your
things
cup.
ahead.
Enjoy
Then drink
on the Saturday morning
Yo, and yet we hear the window were down for good. You see what the DNA. Why show Ahoya the DNA? The shop in the crack in finger with the edge. Well, we have us, and yet we hear it. Pay you my year, and collaborate the training. Who be transfer, the possible JD, forget you would degree, and yet we hear it. Black stars, and yet we hear the Mokofa Corp and brand a damn wish. Me were dying for me, were cat 20, me get the confidence, and yet we hear it. Politicians, I feel you change my bra, Gana Sika and Moma and Chendi. Parliamentals, and yet we hear the Debia Mokas and Sinina Gumasueti. A process for, and yet we hear the Munja, we are the Mutinana Mungo operation. If you are Kate, Namuchi DV, I come from Namugu Puchi. A teacher way, and yet we hear the most strike near here, Sika and Moatanian, cocaine crowd will be into me and trace, and I wouldn't move so Mukojina DBH. Massa, and yet we hear the Wutabo for crowd, and Sunday the Babuchi. But they say, hey, and yet we hear the Alphabet declared to Mama Yen Cage.
Now what's Yana? Come out, yo. Go, come on. First of all, your brain Koso, ECG doom your light supply my Togo.
13 minutes past 8 here on the Super Morning Show on Joe 99.7 FM. Thanks for staying with us. So the question we're asking this morning, do we need a new Parliament House? Good morning, Daniel. I don't think we need a new Parliament House now. It's not a priority now. Have we finished with the cathedral? Good morning, Didi. Please, do the MPs sleep in Parliament? Waste of taxpayers' money. It's so annoying, but they shouldn't worry. 2020 is just around the corner. BB Owusu. Vivian from Kokomlemle says, Daniel, tell them 2020 is just around the corner. We are watching. They should go ahead and renovate the Parliament House. Good morning, Daniel. Please read this. Okay, this is in another vein. I'll read it for you later. Please, as a country, our politicians, they seem confused. Building another parliament for what? NPP and NDC don't have any vision for this country. What they know?
Shall I forget that one? I say forget.
Okay, this is unreadable. Pardon me. Shame on them, Papansa Teshi Nungwa Estates. New Parliament House. What's for? Whilst Accra is still flooding. Oh, Ghana from King Saul. From the moment we beg Parliament for reconsideration of plans to have a new chamber. Our roads are terribly bad. Amponsak Becheli near Michelle Camp Tema. Daniel, how did the gentleman win the competitive bidding to build the new Parliament House as alleged by the Speaker? If the cost of the project is not known, I smell something fishy. Ernest from Kolebu. It's the following we need. Okay, hi Daniel, I'm Nicholas, reaching you from Tehran, Iran. We don't need a new Parliament House. It's the following we need: affordable housing, safe security, quality and affordable health services, and a plan for the future of our youth. Many of those of us criticizing today never behave this way may those of us criticizing today never behave this way when we have the opportunity to be leaders.
Joe, and you're who hear me. Better things ahead. Young Jane home. Yo, and yet we hear the wood were down for
0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. Do we need a new Parliament House? Please call us and let us know what you think. 0302-216-541. 0244-340437. Do we need a new Parliament House? Now the days of making payments with cash are truly over. Guarantee Trust Bank Ghana Limited introduces a groundbreaking way to pay. Mobile money payments on GT Bank POS devices. Now, you can make payments for your goods and services via MTN Mobile Money, Vodafone Cash, Tigo Cash, or Airtel Money on any GT Bank POS. Wondering how? It's simple. At the payment point, opt to pay with mobile money on a GT Bank POS device. Provide the merchants with your phone number and a payment alert authenticated on the GT Bank POS device will be sent to your phone. Authorize the transaction on your app with your PIN, et voila. Merchant receives payment instantly. Making payments just got more exciting. Pay effortlessly and conveniently with mobile money on GT Bank POS devices today. Businesses, shops, and merchants should contact 050-4100-282 for their GT Bank POS devices. Guarantee Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us? Silas is on the line from Kumasi. Good morning, Silas.
Good morning, Danny.
Do you need a new Parliament House? Oh, me, I'm fine. How are you?
Danny, I'm doing so well.
Beautiful.
You see, sometimes we wake up and then tune into radio and we hear some of these things and we are like, oh Charlie, so which kind of country do we belong to? Danny, which problems, how many problems don't we have in Ghana? Danny, our roads are so bad. I live in Kumasi. Which part of Kumasi, which stretch of road would you use in Kumasi that is in good shape? Absolutely none. All our roads are bad. People are sitting under trees, learning. I mean, people are drinking with cows. Danny, and Parliament is thinking about rebuilding a new house for itself. Oh, Charlie. Danny, thank you.
Thank you very much, Silas, for calling us from Kumasi. 0302216541. Tell us if we need a new Parliament House, if you think that we do. All right, I will go to my next caller shortly, but the Vodafone Bosu offer just got bigger. Okay, let me take Collins from Koforidia. Good morning, Collins.
Good morning, Didi. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Let's hear you.
I have a very simple question for leadership of the current Parliament.
Ask away.
How many of them always attend parliamentary sitting? Sometimes you observe that the Parliament House will be virtually empty when there are important issues to be discussed at the Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament has been complaining about members' attendance to Parliament. If they are able to fill the current Parliament chamber to its fullest capacity at all times, then there is a need for a new Parliament. Other than that, I think it's a waste of our national resources. They should divert it to other things.
Thank you very much, Salifu, for calling us. Sorry, that was Collins from Koforidia. Salifu is also calling from Koforidia. Good morning, Salifu.
Good morning, Sadaji. How are you?
I am blessed, though. How are you?
I'm fine. We are in a democratic country, and we are being governed by democracy. So that's the price that we have to pay. Whether we like it or not, we accuse that we want to go through democracy. And we need parliament. They are part of the arms of government. So they need a very conducive place to stay and work. Whether we like it or not, it will be done.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Salifu, for calling. Sam is calling from Tesano. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Dan.
Great. Sam, let's hear you.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Dan, you see, some of these things, when we hear them, is so annoying, very, very annoying, that you want to go some certain way. But let me hold my. I think we don't need such thing. Dan, have you been seeing the UK Parliament? Sometimes how they sit and put their books on their lap. Why do the Ghanaian parliamentarians want to feel so comfortable? Want something? I just can't imagine this. Come on, a parliamentarian is taking about 15,000, 17,000, 11, 12,000 cedis and want more. For what job done? For what job done? Do we vote for them to be paying people's school fees? So if they use that flimsy excuses that they needed more, they should give us a break.
Well, Sam, to be fair, Sam, the conversation is about the new Chamber of Parliament and not really the salaries. So they are saying that they need a bigger building, and that's what we are discussing this morning.
Dan, we don't need such thing, and I'm just generalizing the attitude of the
okay.
parliamentarians.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. We don't need such thing.
Right, thanks, Sam, for calling us from Tesano. Donko is on the line from Lashibi. Good morning, Donko.
Good morning, my boss. How are you doing?
I am blessed, though. How are you doing?
Oh, very well. I'll categorically say no. And to me, it's a big shame and an insult to the Kayaye at Sashaman, Kayaye at Agboglushin, Kayaye at Kumasi, and the rest all. In fact, our leaders don't have sympathy and they don't have shame on themselves. I drive to Accra and I see ladies carrying heavy load, and I see potentials that have been made to become waste. I see these ladies from the north that I see a doctor carrying. I see a potential pilot who have been made to become useless in society. And all these are shameful, shameless leaders who think about having the parliament. Normally don't watch BBC. I once went with about look at their parliament.
I think we have a problem with Donko's line. Donko, please try calling us back, okay? It's a very terrible line. Very, very sorry about that. But Ernest is on the line from Kumasi. Ernest, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, boss. How are you?
Oh, I'm blessed though. How's the sacrum?
Actually, the sacrum is burning.
It's burning. Hey.
It's burning.
Please pour some water on it. Let's hear
It's not. Yeah, I think I have to call the. I think the 119 or whatever to quench it. Anyway, I want to use this your platform and then tell.
Ernest, your radio is very loud. Okay, sorry to
I'm
stop
sorry.
you like that.
I'm sorry. I want to take this opportunity and tell Oreku Edu, as Akwabre is, that he should be coming to our aid because we voted for him. He shouldn't wait till when the time comes and then he comes to tell us, since you voted for me, I've been traveling. That is what he comes to tell us every time. He should come back and let us know he's doing something. He shouldn't sit in Accra and be telling us stories. Anyway, one thing we have to know is if we talk about building another, you see, when something good is coming for the parliamentarians, they tend to absorb it. You and I, let's cast our mind a little back to Mahama Yarega, MP or whoever. I think it's been very, let me say, when he had a case with Martin Amedu, he was trying to go around the circle. He is a parliamentarian. If it were to be myself and you, that very day we would have been carried to the police station. You see, they tend to do anything that favors them. We do not need that edifice now. Ghana is getting broken. We must fix it. You see, we need a lot of things to put Ghana at a reasonable height before we can think of any extravagant things.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ernest, for calling us. Richard Opoku is also on the line. And I just saw walking into our studio Professor Ransford Jampo of the Politics Department, Political Science Department of the University of Ghana. I believe closely behind him is Franklin Kujo of Imani, and Joan Saki will also be joining us. We'll be asking the question, are the solutions beyond us, very shortly. But Richard Opoku is on the line. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Daniel, and good morning to all Peace and Laugh staff here in Kumasi.
Okay.
Here in Kumasi and Accra, sorry. Well, okay. I just don't want to talk at length. The question I want to ask is, what is the justification for this new Parliament House? What is the justification? Can I have an answer to that?
You go ahead with the points, with your points. We want to hear the arguments you make.
It is because the current Parliament House is not able to accommodate all of the MPs at a point in time. My question is, there are some MPs who don't even go to Parliament House. So at a point in time, you don't have even 80% of MPs there. And so we always have spaces available. So if they are talking about spaces, then they have no justification. The money can be used for something better than building a new Parliament House. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard Opoku, for calling us. 0302-216-541, 0302-216-541. Oh, okay, I can only take one more caller. His name is Kwesi. He's also calling from Kumasi. Good morning, Kwesi.
Good morning. I would like to say that I think the Parliament has become very insensitive to the troublings of the country. If they can actually complain about the little discomfort they experience during their 2 hours of sitting in the chamber, and for that they want to put up a whole monumental whatever, I think they are not being fair. We have people studying under trees. We have people in some remote areas who lack good drinking water. We have all these issues, and they are thinking about monumental something, and I mean, it's quite pathetic. I think, as they can say, so if all what they see is the beautiful things that they think is the beautiful things that the country needs, but not the necessary things like education, good health, then I think, you need that. We have no future.
Thank you very much, Kwesi, for calling.
Instagram account and I'm creating my so to take the photo be a cake.
Good morning, Dan. This debate is so sad. We are solving an anticipated problem.
Better things ahead.
When we have a myriad of real problems. You see, this is possible because we as a people have not tired have not tied the destiny of the MP to the number of good schools, good roads, improved health facilities that are in their constituencies. When you raise these issues, you will be told MPs are not development agents. But what we don't avert our minds to is that MPs influence the spending of the nation through the debate on the appropriations bill. Like I said earlier, I've been joined by Professor Ransford, Jampo, Joanne Saki, and Franklin Kujo. So, of course, today's conversation is really about the issues that are on the hearts of my guests. Prof. Jampo, Joanne, and Franklin Kujo. But before we go ahead, we'll take a quick comment on what we've been discussing this morning. The new parliamentary chamber. Before I get to them, the Vodafone Bosu offer just got bigger. Aside the Bosu weekend offer, Vodafone has taken another boss step, introducing the Bosu daily offer. The Bosu of all daily offers. Sign up to the Vodafone Bosu daily offer for 2 Ghana cedis and enjoy 100 minutes for calls to all networks plus 100 megabytes valid for 24 hours. Yes, it's real, Pam. Just dial *5588# now to subscribe to this Bosu daily offer and spend your day like a boss. It's that time of the year again. Panafest 2019 is here, and this year's edition coincides with the year of return, marking 400 years since the first enslaved Africans arrived in the United States. From 24 July to 3rd August in Cape Coast, this momentous event will be marked with a series of culturally relevant activities and events. These include a Grand Durbar, Emancipation Day, Trade Expo, keynote panel sessions, musical concerts, art expositions, and many more. So be sure to participate or partake from the 24th of July to the 3rd of August 2019 and mark this major historical landmark of the African family both home and abroad. Panafest 2019, beyond 400 years, reaching across continents into the future. Let me say a good morning to my guests. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope all is well.
I should be better.
Hey, there are some faces here that I haven't seen in a very long time. I'm looking at Franklin Kujo. And there are some faces I haven't seen at all. I'm looking at Professor Ransford Jampo. And Joanne, of course, the usual suspect. If you go to any of the Roman plays, you might catch her there. But she's also at ASEP. Let me rather begin with Prof. Jampo. Like I said earlier, we want to take quick comments on this announcement that Parliament will be embarking on the construction of a new chamber. So these are the facts as we know them. The Speaker of Parliament has spoken to the government of India and China asking for support to build this facility. We've read it this morning on the show. Number 2, the Speaker of Parliament told us, and this is on the record, that they do not know yet how much this costs. Number 3, David Ajay said David Ajay was chosen through a competitive tendering process where 3 different architects where he submitted designs and then he was chosen eventually. Number 3, which is where I'll end with, is what Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu has said about the need to construct this. Listen.
Even now, we have more than 60 non-MP ministers and deputy ministers. On occasions, they are required to be in the chamber. Even sometimes DCEs on occasions may be required to be the chamber to be witnesses of one thing or the other. So we provide adequate space. But now, when all members of Parliament are and ministers appear, many of them do not have any place to sit. Some have necessarily to stand, which is not the best. So it's the reason why it doesn't mean that it is anticipated to raise the number to 450. That's not the intention.
That's Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu. Pro Jampo. To build or not to build?
I think as we develop as a nation, we may need monumental buildings too. I mean, we have to start from somewhere. And again, the speaker using his link, he was an ambassador to India.
Yeah.
And so using his contacts to solicit for support for us to build such an edifice is not too bad. But my concern is that in as much as we may need those buildings, and if somebody has links somewhere and he will be able to attract people to come and support us construct such edifices, I think Parliament itself should be worried about how it has not been able to play its role as a countervailing authority to the powers of the executive. That is what they should be worried about. And if there is something drastic and radical that they may want to do, while they think about more buildings, they should also be thinking about how they can play a role in order not to be seen as mere rubber stamp of executive, decision. Parliament is supposed to play 4 main roles: representation of the people. That's the foremost function. For the foremost function of every parliament is not legislation; it is representation of the people. Number 2, legislation. Number 3, oversight responsibilities over the activities of the executive, and then 4, controlling the public purse. How well have they been able to discharge this function? They haven't been able to do that, in my view. And so the parliament we have in Ghana is not effective, an organ of government. And I think it has a lot of political scientists there. The speaker himself was my head of department. He supervised me, he taught me and all that. I'm expecting him to do more to help Parliament play its role as a countervailing authority to the powers of the executive. That should be the way to go. If they're able to do this, and he's able to have some support to attract funding to help them construct another edifice. But is it over 10 years now? Is it 10 years that we had the Chinese coming in to renovate Parliament?
It's actually 12. It was around 2007. Wow. So it's 12.
I think the speaker wants to leave also a legacy. I mean, he worked as an ambassador in India. He has his links, he has his contacts there and all that. Maybe it's free money. If it's something free and they want to do that, he wants to champion that and leave that behind as a legacy. In my view, I wouldn't have a lot of qualms, even though I'm aware other concerns that we have, other pressing needs and all that. But I wouldn't have a lot of qualms about it. But the most important thing is that, look,
they should do their work.
Our parliament is not able to assert itself as a countervailing authority to the powers of the executive. And in that case, the president, I think, will be going more into this,
Yeah, when you come in. But what if this building is not free?
If it is not free, I think we'll have to. Well, you are making a hypothetical, situation.
I'm saying this because, you see, he's gone to China. He's also spoken to the Chinese government. He's actually appealed to our government to give funds. So this is not an India-specific issue. He made an appeal to India. He made an appeal to China. He's made an appeal to our government. So the money could be free or not free.
Well, also, if it is not free, our appeal to them. It seems to me that sometimes when politicians get to power, they lose complete touch, with the realities, of the ground. There are people who are suffering. There are so many things that require urgent attention. So this is not the time for us to be, if it is not free, it's not the time for us to be contracting loans, to be doing some of these things. I think we should do the needful by ensuring that Parliament play its role, as Parliament, as other parliaments have been doing. That should be our focus. And if we can contract loans for other, we can contract such loans, with ease. I think we should channel let's go to Kolebu and provide more dialysis machine for people who have kidney failures and all that. Let us do that. If you go, there are so many things that we are lacking. And so let them demonstrate that passion for the people. Otherwise, they are seen as people who are up there and they are completely losing touch with what is happening on the ground.
Thank you very much, Prof. Jampo. Prof. Francois Jampo is the one you just heard. 25 minutes at the top of the hour. Franklin Cudjoe is also here, founder and president of Imani. Mr. Cudjoe, your thoughts on this one?
Well, I'm not entirely surprised, even though the question I would have asked initially would have been, what is the purpose, really? Is the current house, is it in bad shape? What use, really, is the house being put to, besides passing laws, discussing bills and passing laws? And I shudder to think that for a house whose per capita income is almost 6 times, 7 times, sometimes 11 times that of the ordinary Ghanaian, it seems to me that it is an act of probably sheer insensitivity to be asking for a house when in actual fact your bills are already costing us a lot as a nation. I'm talking in terms of the numbers. I've always maintained that we do not need. How many parliamentarians do we have right now?
275.
275, and it will be counting. You see, it's as if these things are anticipation of
larger numbers.
The larger numbers in future. But that's where the Constitution, probably what those who call for some amendments for a cap to the number of parliamentarians should actually be listened to, because we cannot continue this way. You cannot. This country is too small to have 275 members of parliament, and I hear there will be some additions. If you think that we are trying to have a very decentralized system of government, we should rather be reducing the amount of people who sit at the national capital, obviously claiming they are passing laws, right? So for me, the numbers are the reason why these things are happening.
Okay.
The numbers do not make sense. I've always maintained that I remember I had a mini state visit to Australia, and I was taken through most of their states' institutions. At the cabinet level, there are 3 ministries that are merged into one. You see lands, forestry, and agric merged into one.
Okay.
With different desks. I think it's the same thing in the UK. You see the Parliament of Australia, which at the time was the 12th largest economy in the world, and much bigger than Ghana, by the way, in terms of land size, but in terms of population, probably almost the same.
Okay.
Has 150 members of parliament. Of course, there's a second house, which usually is made up of people who have done well in life, right? So they don't necessarily get paid. So the 150 members of parliament are ardent representatives of their country, right? 150 for a continent-size Australia. Then you have Ghana. So the reason why this is happening is because of the anticipation that there will be jobs for politicians who may become, of course, lawmakers. I do not see any other value addition. And in this day and age, when we want to say we want to go beyond aid, I think pragmatism is part of the conversations about going beyond aid. How pragmatic you are means that the current usage you put to you have for this rather guest house, I don't see the problem with that house.
Okay.
Really.
So
if they say it's a 400-seater or 450.
450.
If somebody tells you that there are not going to be extra numbers, that's a lie. Why? The extra numbers, are they spectators? I mean, the art of lawmaking, while people may be interested, students of government and politics may be interested in going to see how this is done. And of course, in the UK, you can go in and see.
Yeah.
There's not a football match where you expect this capacity size of houses to be built. I am telling you that the reason for this is essentially an anticipation of job creation for people we do not need.
When you say we don't need them, because the UK has 66 million people.
I'm not saying we don't need members of parliament.
But you made the point that there are too many.
There are too many. I think this country could have done about 140 members of parliament.
Which is why I'm stepping in here, because the UK has 66 million people and 650 members of parliament. That's about 1 to about 101,000. Ours is 30 million to 275. This is 1 to about 109,000. So if our population grows and we want more, that argument can be made.
Well, if you become as rich as the UK, then you can decide to be this spendthrift, really. I mean, at the end of the day, their representation is totally to the ground. I mean, to the doorsteps. So I can understand. And they have 2 houses as well. I mean, question we should ask ourselves is the effectiveness of parliament. In the UK, clearly speaking, I'm not saying their parliament is more effective than ours, but clearly.
Prof would say that.
Why won't you say that?
Prof, you want to lean in and make that point?
I think it's
okay, let me bring in Mrs. Saki now. So we have 2 people who clearly are opposed to this new project. Are you?
Yes, you have 3 people actually.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Very clearly opposed to it. My opinion is, I agree with Franklin entirely. Thinking about it, I ask myself, do we really need that many people? Is the building falling apart? No, it's not. We don't need that many people. Now, what I wonder is how efficiently are they using the space they already have? When you look at Parliament, you see huge desks, you see huge chairs. Do we really need to have that kind of furniture in there? how, if we replace the furniture, for instance, would you be able to fit in more people if you say you do need more people? How efficiently are you using the space you already have? And then it makes me wonder, are we putting comfort above necessity? Do we really need to be so comfortable? How necessary is it when you, if you have
In
a
fact,
scale
if you
of...
look at the UK,
They sit on benches.
They sit on benches.
They are crammed into a tiny space.
In fact, there are
What
committee
is more
meetings, and I've
important?
attended a few of them.
Uh-huh.
Committee meetings in the UK. They are basically desk. I mean, they are like what you find in what's it called, chobbers. Basically. Just that they look glamorous. They look glamorous, but they are desk. They are not comfortable.
Joanne, finish
So
up.
my point is that you are too comfortable already. When I look at Parliament, I see comfort. I don't see we are here to work. Let's hurry up, work, and get straight to the point and go. So you're relaxed, turning around in your swivel chair. No. You are. If we didn't have that kind of furniture, we'll be able to fit more people in. If yes, fine. But if you are so comfortable that you want to spend all your time there, how much are you doing in that space already? What, like you said, what's the fruit of your labor? What are we seeing? You're having conversations. Are you taking too much time to have conversations?
It's a state of the art, actually.
Yes, and
state of the art furniture. That's what they currently have.
I was reading Manasseh's article. Okay, Joanne, you have no points.
And my point is that if we can try to focus more on the things that need to be done and not themselves as people who need to be comfortable. There's so much self-interest. I go to work, I need to be comfortable where I sit. I need to have a big desk in front of me. I need to have enough space to put all my files. It's like they're all just thinking about themselves on a daily basis. But if you will stop for a second and think about all the other things that the money could be used for, I doubt you'll be thinking about space to work.
I want to, Franklin, I'm bringing you in, but I want to make a point about history and heritage. Malik made this point, and it's interesting. If you go to Congress in the UK, is it Senate? It's Senate in the UK. They say this about the desk they sit behind. This mahogany desk was made by Thomas Constantine, a cabinet maker from New York City, with only 6 weeks remaining before the December 1819 convening of the 16th Congress. Constantine was contracted to supply the Senate with, among other items, 48 mahogany desks for $34 each.
Yeah.
Today, all of Constantine's desks remain in use in the current Senate chamber after over 200 years. As new states enter the Union, desks of similar design were ordered from other cabinet makers, although the 4 newest desks, that is those constructed for Alaska 1959 and Hawaii 1959, were built in the Senate cabinet shop. So the newest desks in the US Senate were built 2 years after Ghana's independence, 60 years ago.
But we have our own history. When we're building the presidential palace, there was a reason. We needed to placate the Indians with contracts. They needed to get contracts. So there's a history to that. Look, there's also a history we are glossing over.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime there's some relative amount of stability, economic stability, or some moments of joy with our economy, parliamentarians are actually the first to vote for themselves some raises.
Mm-hmm.
In the year 2000, when we had, when after the HIPIC, when we achieved the HIPIC completion point.
Yes.
If you notice carefully, actually, when our 80% of our debt was forgiven by the Jubilee campaign and all of that, 2 weeks after that, in Gleneagles, when it was announced, 2 weeks after that, Parliament in Ghana increased salaries, gave $60 a day as for rent for parliamentarians, and give them, I think, $20,000 car loans. Anytime we've had, we rebase our economy, you just watch those moments. I'm being mischievous, but I'm just telling you that we have our own history as well. Anytime we've rebased our economy, our economy, and there seems to be some semblance of stability, watch the persons who actually decide they need raises. Have you not noticed not too long ago that the president has tasked a team to review the emoluments of Article 71 holders. Just check the timelines.
Okay.
So for me, I'm not surprised. Our history is that, well, the Chinese will get their cut anyway, so they build us an edifice. It's the same thing across the continent. The North Koreans built some statues for the Senegalese president. What? You know what they got in return? They got these deals, really. So, I mean, clearly these are not things we should be glossing over. There's economic diplomacy, but there's also...
But to be honest, Franklin, a number of the things that you have said, for instance, about we needed to placate so-and-so government, we cannot substantiate as of now.
Oh, you don't have to. I mean, you do vested interest analysis. I don't think I'm not trying to tell you that you should. Nobody will come and tell you that the Chinese are building this or giving you aid. There's no free lunch. I mean, to the extent that the Indians built that house for
Jubilee.
Jubilee for us. There were interest, of course. You cannot downplay that. You think the Chinese have had a Christmas to come and build for us basically the furniture. Furniture was imported from China, right? And I'm sure there were waivers and all of that. You think they're for the Christmas? It doesn't work that way, you know. So for me, we are choosing our own history. Ours is an issue of economic diplomacy versus what's it called, freebies. And I think we can be allowed, because that's the way our history is supposed to be written. I may be mischievous, but I'm just telling you, you can't find any chair in the Houses of Parliament, Ghana's House of Parliament, which has any history right now. I don't know, maybe except the one they bring for the president to sit on. Usually, there was times when Rawlings used to sit on one that was carved in Ghana. Maybe the person who carved that stool
would have
the only history. But as we speak, there's no history. There are only, what I see, Chinese artifacts.
Anyway, Joanne has a comment she wants to make. Okay, we'll move into the pet peeves now. But I just wanted to end with this interesting point, just on what Franklin was saying. In an investigation published, this is 30th January 2018, in an investigation published by French newspaper Le Monde China, which also paid and built the computer network in the AU, allegedly inserted a backdoor in French that allowed it to transfer data. They're speaking to the AU's headquarters in Addis Ababa. So China built the AU headquarters, bugged it, and allegedly bugged it for state secrets, and then also built in a backdoor into one of the computer systems which they gave us. So that's another...
French won't do it. It doesn't mean the Swiss won't do it. It doesn't mean the Americans won't do it.
You're live on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM, 11 minutes, so we hit the top of the hour. In the studio with me, Prosperance from Jampo, Joanne Saki, and Franklin Cudjoe. The citizens' conversation is what we are going to have. This one was just opening comments. That took us a few more minutes than we thought. We take these important messages. When we come back, we deal with what exactly Prof. Jampo about Ghana. What makes Joanne want to pull her hair out? And why does Franklin Cudjoe keep on ranting about these issues? We'll bring up those issues and ask ourselves if the solutions to them are beyond us. Stay with us.